In this video, I'm going to be teaching you the volume profile plus order flow strategy. A lot of people requested that I should teach you guys order flow, but I want to go slowly. I didn't want to teach you each and everything in one video. But by now, you guys might have full understanding of volume profiles. If you don't, please go and watch my previous videos, my last 3-4 videos on volume profiles. Because I'm not going to teach you about volume profile in this video from the beginning. I'm just going to teach you how to use volume profile with order flow to take high probability trades. If you don't know me, my name is Faz and I've been trading for over 10 years now. And I've helped so many students get funded through my free YouTube videos. So if you don't believe me, you can try out this model by yourself or any of my other models on the YouTube, and you will know what I'm talking about. So, for this strategy, what we're going to be using is the overnight volume profile. Again, if you haven't watched my volume profile videos, I highly recommend you watch them. Okay, I explain everything about volume profile in those videos. So overnight volume profile, that's the level that we're going to be using. That's the volume profile that we're going to be using. But there are a lot of other ways to draw out your volume profile. You can do it with the previous day's entire session, right? Those are also your key levels. You can also do like an entire previous week's entire volume profile, or you can do the current week developing volume profile. But for this video, we're going to be using only one volume profile, and that is, I think, according to me, it is quite mechanical, and also it's quite consistent. So overnight volume profile. And this is the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you, which is with the order flow, right? I'm going to teach you how to look for absorption at the volume profile levels, which are value area high and value area low. And number 3 is like aggression and follow through. This is necessary to take our entry. So we have to see this, but first we have to see absorption at a key level, and then we have to see aggression and follow through. And then we need to have our key levels where we can take our profits, right? So what is overnight volume profile? So what are the timings? First of all, make sure your time zone is set to New York on TradingView, okay? We're not going to be using the volume profile on TradingView. So this is the tool that I use. This is the Orderflow level 2 data tool that I use, and it's called Deep Charts. And it is released by Fabio and Andrea. They are both great traders, and they trade with Orderflow. So the timing for the overnight session is from 18. So if I go here, which is just around here, 18 till 9:30. Okay. So from 18 till 9:30, you want to draw out your volume profile just like that. All right. And then you want to drop down to 1 minute time frame. Now, once you're on the 1 minute time frame, you should be good. Okay. This is the overnight volume profile. So we have key levels, value area high, value area low, value area low, and the point of control. Now, let me teach you what is absorption. Okay. So forget about this at the moment. And once you have deep charts, right, to identify absorption, what I use this indicator, deep trades or big trades. Now you can find this indicator on almost all order flow platforms. They usually have, they usually go by the name big trades, right, or deep trades. So once you have deep charts installed, and once you buy deep charts, they have a lot of tutorials on how to set up deep charts and all the settings. You will get quite familiar with everything, and this is quite user friendly, so you don't have to be scared. You just gotta purchase it, or if you have other order flow platforms, you can use big trades. So to add an indicator, you go here, indicators here, and then go to volume, and then if you scroll down, you will see deep trades. Now this is the filter, right? So if I keep it at 30, it's just going to show me 30 contracts, right? Minimum, right? So it's not going to show me 25, 20 contracts because they are small orders, right? Now, during New York session, I usually keep it at 50 or 60 because the volume is quite a lot. So I go with around 50. Okay. And now let's talk about absorption, because a lot of you people been asking me, what is absorption? What is absorption? How do you identify it? What I do, so forget about the overnight session. Let me teach you what is absorption. Okay, so let's say you have an overnight session volume profile. So let's assume that this is the overnight volume profile. It's just for the example. And I'm gonna decrease the size by a little bit. Let's keep it at 40. Or let's do 35 because this is PM session. So during PM session, the volume drops down. So we can keep it at 30. During PM session, we can keep it at 30. Okay. Now, we want to look for absorption at the value area low or the value area high. I'm not going to teach you the breakout strategy in this video because it's going to be too much. I'm only going to show you the failed auction setup. If you don't know what is a failed auction setup, please watch my older videos, my previous 3-4 videos on the volume profile. I teach everything, okay? Now, the purple, and also let me just go through the settings of the deep trade. So if I go to the plot settings, I have it on text, and I have the minimum opacity and maximum opacity set at 80. I know this is too much, but if you keep watching this video or you rewatch this video again and again, you will understand what I'm talking about. So after 9:30, right? Let's assume that this is the overnight session volume profile and this is the 9:30 open. Forget about this timing. Don't look at this. Just assume that this is overnight and this is the market open. Now, after the market open, which is at 9:30 on the 1 minute time frame, if we dip below the value area low of the overnight session, so this is the value area low, this is the point of control, and this is the value area high, and this is VWAP, which you can get on deep trades. Okay, so notice what happens here. So these purple boxes are aggressive sellers, and these green boxes are aggressive market buys. Okay, now when we see aggressive sell here, 33 sell contracts, it is within the body of the candle. As you can see, the sellers are within the body, meaning that the sellers got a follow through. Okay, they were able to push the price down. So that is a follow through. Again, we have buyers at the wick of this bearish candle. So in this case, the buyers got absorbed. Okay, and we have 38 sellers within the body of the candle. So the sellers got a follow through until these 69 contracts here. They were within the wick. So if we have aggressive orders at the wick area, right? For example, this is the wick and we got 31 buys. That is buyers getting absorbed, and we closed below it. So buyers got absorbed. Now in this case, when we have 69 sellers in a bearish candle at the wick area, or even it's a bullish candle, these are sellers being absorbed. So if the aggressive orders are within the body of the candle and not the wick, they are getting a follow through. But if they are at the wick area, they are getting absorbed. All right. Now that is level 1 absorption. Level 2 absorption is when we dip below the value area low. So you can see we have a lot of aggressive sellers coming in. Now we do have a lot of aggressive sellers, but price immediately reclaimed above the value area low. So aggressive sellers coming in, but from here, they didn't get a follow through. So they stopped or they got absorbed, right? So there was a big buy limit order that absorbed all these aggressive sellers. So imagine you place a buy limit order here and you have billions of dollars, right? And if the sellers that are trying to push the price down are not stronger than your $1 billion buy limit, you are going to absorb their market sell orders and price will eventually go up. So this is absorption, okay? And we confirm absorption with this technique that I'm about to teach you. So yes, we have aggressive sellers. We are below the value area low. Remember, we want to be buyers below the value area low. And we want to be sellers above the value area high. Of course, context matters. And sometimes you can get breakouts like this. I'm going to talk about that in some other video. But by the end of this video, you will understand how to actually catch breakouts without me explaining it, because you will understand what is absorption and what is follow through. So the movement that led the price to drop below the value area low. Look at this. This is where this final move appeared, right? And if you notice here, the aggressive sellers started. So what you want to do is draw a box around the sellers that push the price down below the value area low. So from here, you can see we have this level. Okay, it is precise. Now, if this absorption is valid, I would like to see price closing back or reclaiming above this level. And a very high probability setup is when we also get aggressive buys to the upside, supporting this absorption setup. So aggressive sellers below the value area low, and instantly the buyers take control, sellers are absorbed, we close above this final chunk of orders, right, that led the price down. And on top of that, when we broke above this zone, these chunk of orders, we had aggressive buyers stepping in within the body of the candle. Okay, now in the case where we have the buyers within the body and also within the wick, I prioritize this over here, because this is telling you that the buyers got a follow through to the upside. They were able, so the buyers stepped in here and they were able to push the price up. Now, with the context and knowing that we are coming from the value area low, this would have been a beautiful long position to the upside. So you would take a long here and you would put your stop loss below these aggressive sellers. So if price decides to go below this, then it means it wants to go lower, and buyers in that case got absorbed. Okay, and then since this is not an actual overnight session volume profile, I'm just showing it to you as an example, right? You can target the value area high of the overnight session, or in this case, you can see how price just pushed back up. Let me show you another example of absorption, and I'm pretty sure it happened here. So there's a lot of volume coming in, so you have to adjust it accordingly so you don't see a lot of orders stepping in. Okay, so in this case, let me just apply this. Let's assume, okay, let's assume this was the value area high. Okay, now you can also use this with fair value gaps or other key levels or support and resistance levels. Okay, you don't always have to use volume profile. Now notice what happened here. Let's assume that this is the value area high. Okay, my apologies, guys. So buyers went above, so you can see we have aggressive buys in this candle, 50 buys, 83 buys, right? But instantly we pushed down below. Now notice that when we pushed back above, and in reality we swept this high, so liquidity is also an area where you can look for absorption. So we swept this high, we had aggressive buyers. A lot of people would take a long position here thinking that we're going to continue higher, but you shouldn't do that. So let's assume that this was the value area high. Now notice that instantly we have aggressive sellers stepping in. So 87 sell contracts, 150 sell contracts, inversing below these aggressive buyers that made a breakout above this high, right? Now that is step one. Okay, we close here, that's good. We have some little absorbed sellers over here, but they don't matter as long as you have buyers within the body of the candle. Now notice here to the left side, at the close proximity, you have these orders, right? So 132 and 128. So and also 83. So what you want to do is draw out a box around this level. So in order for this absorption to be valid, I need a close below. Yes, you can get aggressive here if your levels are very precise, and I'm going to teach that later on in some other videos. But or you could have taken this inversion as well, so you can use ICT with this as well. Okay, please don't make a strategy or ideology. You can use multiple concepts together. Don't listen to all these gurus telling you, oh, you're trading with trend lines. Bro, if it's making you money, you don't need to watch this video. I promise you that. So ideally what I would do is once we get a close below, or if you want to be a little more less aggressive, you can see we have these chunk of orders, right? 52, 82 to 132. If we get a close below this, this could have been also your short position. So think of these orders, big orders, as like your support and resistance levels. You can identify absorption and follow through with this. So I'm going to go over this once again. What is absorption and what is follow through? Now this is, as I said, there are two levels. So this level to absorption, right? So this level is where we do have a follow through for buyers, but then we instantly reverse from the key level. And we again have aggressive sellers. So buyers, yes, they did get a follow through, but instantly they were rejected. So if I go on to like the 5-minute time frame, you will see that these buyers actually got absorbed. So let me just go to potentially like 3-minute. Well, let's just say 5-minute, right? Okay, you can clearly see that we have on the 5-minute, we have buyers at the wick area, right? So yes, you have to be looking at time frames, but it's not necessary. As long as you wait for a follow through from a key level. So if we are looking for shorts and we see aggressive sells coming in and inversing below these aggressive buys, and also these chunk of orders, that gives you enough confirmation that the sellers, the auction is bearish, okay? They want to push the price down towards a key level. This could be the point of control of the overnight session or the point of control of the weekly volume profile. I know this is, you guys might be like, what the fuck is he talking about? But my goal here, guys, is to teach you everything that I know, okay? And again, please do watch my YouTube videos. Again, I'm going to also give you some examples with the overnight session volume profile and how I use it every day. But that's the thing, guys. Key level, if you're looking for shorts, we want to see buyers getting absorbed, and then we see follow through of sellers. So sellers step in aggressively, but they also break a support level. So chunk of orders at the very close proximity, right? We have 128, 13. This is a potential support level. So when it breaks, it becomes resistance, right? So what you can do is take a short position here. You can put your stop right above these chunk of orders, knowing that we are coming from a key level, right? We have absorbed buyers, and then we have sellers that got a follow through, and then we also inversed above all these aggressive orders. That gives you enough confirmation that, okay, I can take this short position. And then you can again target a key level, and this is happening right now. All right. So I really hope that you understood this. I'm going to give you guys a lot of examples and you will completely understand what I'm talking about. Again, the platform is Deep Charts. And if you are still not clear about absorption, I'm going to make more videos on this, right? But it's simply just having a key level and seeing who's winning the battle. Let's say that there are two boxers, right? And they're fighting each other. So let's say that the buyers are punching the sellers very hard, but the sellers are not getting knocked out. They're not getting knocked out, meaning that the buyers are not getting the result they want, right? They're hitting as hard as they can at a key level or on the face, but the sellers are not getting knocked out. And then the sellers, punch the buyers, right? And the buyers get knocked out. I know this is a dumb fucking example, but this is what I'm talking about. So if the sellers are there and they're getting a follow through, but the buyers are not getting a follow through, they're not able to push the price up. The price stalls, nothing happens, but they're aggressive buys at the key level, but nothing happens. That is absorbed buyers. And then the sellers, when they get a follow through, right? Sellers here, price pushing down, breaking levels, right? That is your sign to take a short fucking position. So let me give you guys some examples. All right, guys. So here is example number 1. And do know that the overnight session volume profile is from 18 till 9:30, right? But on Deep Charts, it's the time zone is for some reason 1 hour behind. So it's going to be 17 till 8:30 for me. So 8:30 is the actual 9:30, right? Don't get confused. The actual timing are from TradingView, but on Deep Charts, it's 1 hour behind. So 8:30 on Deep Charts is 9:30. All right. I have to change the time zone settings here, but I don't care at this point. So we have the overnight session from 18 till 9:30. And after that, you can see that we have the value area high, right? And also make sure you go to the settings here and choose the volume profile settings, go to data settings and set it to manual so it doesn't move, right, when you zoom out. So notice what happened here, guys, okay? We went above the value area high, this gray dotted line, and we had a lot of aggressive buys. So 43, 40, 44, and 41 over here. But what is happening here? They're not getting a follow through. A lot of aggressive buys, but the price is stalling here. It's consolidating. It's not going up. So a lot of buyers, what is happening to them? They're getting absorbed, right? Now, that is step one, absorption above the value, overnight sessions value area high. And then we need aggressive sellers that get a follow through. So if you look at this bearish candle, this purple candle, this is a bearish candle. We had 41 aggressive sellers that got a follow through. These sellers, right? They, first of all, below these aggressive buyers, right? And also, if you look to the left side at the close proximity, right? What do we have? We have these chunk of orders right here, right? You can also include the 48 over here. That's perfectly fine. So 48, 118, 56, 43. These are aggressive participants at the close proximity, right? So notice what happened with this candle. We have aggressive sells and we also closed below this support level. So this becomes a resistance. So you can take your entry at the retest of the zone, put your stop loss right above here, and then you can pretty much target the VWAP, which is the yellow line, or you can have a fixed target, or you can target these equal lows down there, right? So this would have given you 3.5 RR trade. It's really that simple when you think about it, guys. Okay, it's really, really that simple. So again, guys, we come back again and revisit the overnight session volume profile. So I'm going to put a line here. So overnight session, we come back again here and notice what happens here. Aggressive buys, 45 buyers at the wick level, they got absorbed. And then there's another absorption where we have a bearish candle, but in that bearish candle, we have aggressive buys. So more buyers are getting absorbed. So that is also a sign of follow through, right? The sellers are in control, but the buyers, so many aggressive buys. Look at this, 45 buys, 60 buys, 49 buys, but no follow through above the value area high. And we keep pushing down. Now, if you look to the left side here, guys, what do we have? We have some aggressive orders at the close proximity, right? You can do something like this. Okay, include the volume imbalance as well. And next thing you know, guys, what happens? Price just pushes down. Okay. Now, if you had this zone, this entire box over here where we had aggressive orders, and if you pretty much dragged it here, you can see price came back, revisited this level, and then it also pushed down, and we had a huge push to the downside, right? It's quite that simple, guys. Okay. Follow through, absorption, follow through. Buyers getting absorbed, sellers getting rewarded. Right? They're getting the result, but the buyers are not getting the result over here and also over here. Let's move on to the next example. All right, guys. So here is another example. So we have the overnight session volume profile from 18 till 9:30. So around here, this is the value area high, value area low, the VWAP, and the point of control. Now, after market open at 9:30, we pushed up, right? We had absorbed buyers, aggressive sellers, but we failed to close below the value area high. Okay. And then we have absorption. So this wouldn't be a setup. Okay. Now, if we see here, we have more buyers stepping in, but then instantly we get this huge bearish candle. And notice that in this one candle, it gives you so much information. Okay. We have absorbed buyers in this bearish candle. So buyers stepped in when this candle was forming, but they didn't get a follow through. However, we had 193 sellers here around this level, and we have 88 sellers here. Now, sellers are getting a follow through, buyers are getting absorbed. Now, one more confirmation that we need is look to the close proximity, right? And we have these chunk of orders, 62, 127, 160. Now, in this case, what you would do is wait for price to close below this, and you can see we have more absorbed buyers in this bearish candle and 131 sellers. So this would be your short position, right? And for a target, we're going to be targeting the value area low, or at least 1 to 1.5. So this right here would have been your short setup. Now on the same day, we had a long setup as well. So notice that we dipped below the value area low, and we have absorbed sellers. So sellers pushed down here, but they didn't get a follow through. Okay, the sellers didn't get a follow through. However, we don't have any aggressive buyers stepping in with the deep trades indicators. So there's no green boxes over here. And we also failed to close above the close proximity orders, which are over here, right? So we dip below one more time, and you can see we have 74 sellers here, but then instantly we push back up. Now in this case, we don't have aggressive buyers as well. So we can use a reclaim thingy where if we get a close above this box, we can look for a long position, right? So this would be your long. And in this case, since the box is too big, I'm going to prioritize the closer ones, okay? This right here. I'm willing to take the risk. So if we get a close above this, that is going to be my long position. This right here is going to be my stop, and I could target pretty much this high over here. So that would give me at least 1 to 2 risk reward. So yeah, guys, I know this is a lot in one video, but I promise you I'm going to make more videos on this, right? It's quite simple. Rewatch this video again and again, and you will understand what I'm talking about. Again, you can use it with overnight session volume profile if you want to keep things mechanical, but you can also use the London session volume profile like I do with the gold strategy. You can also use developing volume profiles. Everything is coming soon on my YouTube. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.